Hello and welcome everyone to this presentation today. It's going to show how Proclaim and Arken integrate together. My name's Pippa Shepherd and I'm the Head of Client Engagement at arken.legal, and I'm joined today by Sarah Bailey, who's a sales consultant from Proclaim. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi there, Pippa. Hi, everybody.
So Sarah will be taking us through the demonstration of Proclaim and taking that into Arken today. So just before we get started, just a couple of little bit of housekeeping notices to mention. First of all, if you want to ask any questions during the presentation, we'll come to them at the end. There is in your panel, you'll go to a webinar panel, a questions tab, so just please feel free to type anything in there that you want to ask. Now, Sarah and I are both obviously working at home today, so do please forgive us if there's any noises that come about, if there's any dogs or doorbells or drills going off in the background, then let us know. It will only take about 15 to 20 minutes today, so we are just going to show you the integration between the two systems. But if any of you would like a demonstration of either Proclaim or Arken, then please just do contact us on the details at the end and we can arrange a full-on demonstration for you of our each solutions then. So we'll only take about 15 to 20 minutes. So let's talk about the Arken and Proclaim partnership then. It really came into being to help mutual users gain further efficiencies. So now gone is the need to create a client in two systems. Gone is the need to keep two sets of records up to date. Gone is the need to rekey data or even download documents and then have to re-upload them into your case management solution. So it's a real step change. This really does allow users like yourselves to use two best-in-class solutions. So at Arken, we do what we do best. We focus on the document generation and efficiency tools, but we're not an expert on case management solutions. We leave that to people like Proclaim. So Sarah, tell us why Proclaim is the case management solution of choice at the moment.
Thanks, Pippa. So there's so many reasons that we hear from clients as to why they've chosen Proclaim. But if I was to give you my top three, my first one would be that we are a trusted brand. So we've been around since 1987 and we're extremely well established in the market. Every year new firms emerge, but clients don't have that sense of trust and that sense of longevity with someone that's been operating for a couple of years. There's also always that nagging thought in the back of your mind of, will they still be around to see out my 5-10 year plan when I've invested and I've partnered with them? So I think here at Eclipse, we have stood the test of time and we've showed clients that we're here to stay. The next one I'd come to is configurability. So with Proclaim, we cater to clients from sole practitioners all the way up to huge firms with many users, which means that we need to have a solution that caters to all of them. Therefore, our pre-configured workflows come out of the box, and many clients choose to take them out of the box and use that. However, everything in Proclaim is also completely configurable. So at the other end of the spectrum, we have clients who've completely redesigned the way that their systems work to reflect their unique processes and ways of working. And the key thing about that is we give you all the tools to do this yourself if you wish. We don't keep them so that only Eclipse can do that for you. And the last one I'll come to is streamlining and automation of mundane tasks. There's a lot of automation already built into Proclaim. And as I've mentioned, you can, if you wish, build lots more into it. For example, when a client sends out certain letters and certain documents that need a response, in most cases, Proclaim will automatically schedule a task to chase for that in a week or so. However, if you mark that document as returned, the task will automatically be cancelled for you. Another example is for clients using Proclaim for something else like conveyancing. Proclaim will allow you to do your SDLT and your LRBG submissions directly from within Proclaim straight into the relevant portals, which means that the manual step of having to re-input all of that data into a completely different system is removed. They're just a couple of examples, but Proclaim has been designed to make your life easier and take away as much of that manual work and rekeying as possible.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sarah. I would say from an Arken perspective, it's very similar on the longevity message there. We've been around since the early 90s. We were the first people to actually automate will drafting software. And since then, we've constantly developed it over the last 30 years to be, the modern cloud-based solution it is today. The second thing from an Arken perspective, I would say, is our innovation. We're constantly innovating. We're listening to client feedback And now we've got a suite of complementary products that further aid efficiency and the experience you give to your client. The third for me will be about our investment and security. So cloud-based solutions, it's important that the provider really does invest heavily in a secure system. So we use Amazon Web Services. We try to enable the highest level of data security we can provide. I would also add on to that, there's a couple of other things from an Arken perspective. One is about focus. So we spoke earlier about sticking to what we know, and we really are the best in what we do. We focus on that private client, that estate planning industry, and we do what we do, and we do it really well. And as part of that, we allow for complexity. So we allow for incredibly complex documents to be produced. Think inheritance tax, complex distribution, business, trust, accrual clauses, gifting, nil rate bans, 10% charity relief, dealing with overseas property, whatever it has to, you know, whatever complexity it needs, and you can do all that without needing to manually edit. But let's get to the meat of it, Sarah. I'll hand over to you now so you can actually show how the integration works from Proclaim into Arken.
Thank you, Pippa. So this is a case that I've opened for a client, but I've not started to do any work yet. You'll see here that we have a screen specifically for Arken work, which will drive the various links between Arken and Proclaim. Proclaim operates on a client.
It's taking a little while to actually come onto the screen. So yeah, there you go. It's all there now. So carry on. Sorry.
Perfect. Thank you. So Proclaim operates on a client matter structure. So I've opened this case off the back of a client case, which means that all the client details have pulled through. What I need to do now, though, is transfer the client details onto the Arken page, and then it'll be ready to push into Arken itself. So on my case, I'm just going to transfer the details for this particular client. If we select that this client is married, and if I add a spouse name in here, we'll see that Arken will also pull this through. Okay, now I'm going to push all of this information into Arken and create a new client profile on the Arken side. There's some confirmation messages from Proclaim to make sure that we really want to create a new profile. And then the Arken website will pop up. We'll need to log in. So now that client profile has been created for us within Arken, and we're going to search for it. We can search based on a number of different pieces of information, but for ease in this case, I'm just going to use the client surname. This will return any clients that match that criteria, and luckily for me, there's just one here. You'll also see that Proclaim has told Arken that this client had a wife called Jane, and we've got the option here, if we wish, to also create her here as a client within Arken. But for now, I'm just going to create a new document for our client. And then I'll choose which document I'd like to produce. So I'm just going to produce a will today. And finally, you'll see here that the matter number for the Proclaim case and Arken have married up. So I select that and confirm that the client does have the capacity to make this document, hit confirm, and I'm ready to go.
Right, just while Sarah's running through a very simple will, just to show how to submit it back to Proclaim, I'll just tell you a little bit more about Arken Professional. So Arken Professional is a central product in our product suite. We have a lot of other solutions that support it to further aid efficiency and reduce rekeying. We have digital fact finds, an online version, an offline version that can be used for instruction takers or when you don't have internet connection. And we also have online wills where you can decide the offer that you put out to the marketplace, either DIY will or ones that you check yourself. So this has been particularly popular during COVID. It helps speeds up the process for the client and reduces the input needed for you guys for straightforward instructions. So The first thing that Sarah is going to do now is do a simple will, and we can see here that it's real-time drafting. So on the right-hand side of the screen, as Sarah is selecting the answers to the question on the left-hand side, we can see that the will is building as she goes. All the time it's renumbering, it's respacing, so there's no need to have to fiddle with a Word document at the end of the process. You'll also see that there's a tab next to the will that is on the right-hand side of your screen, and that's for a completely bespoke commentary that's building, a plain English explanation of each clause in the will. So it's great to just tick the box that you've explained everything to your client. The cover sheet is also there, which is designed in the customizations area of Arken. So as you can see from what Sarah's doing, the questionnaire is dynamically changing. It's very intuitive and intelligent. It only gives you the questions you need to answer depending on the answers you've given to previous questions. And it selects the most likely answer to save you time too. From our studies, a simple will can be done in half the time of traditional drafting and a complex one 4 times more quickly. So it does save you a lot of time. As Sarah's gone through the tabs, you'll notice that all the mandatory fields have disappeared, but depending on the answers that you've given, more can appear as you go along. I talked earlier about complexity. Now, we haven't seen this with what Sarah's done today, but the difference in Arken is that it allows you to go to very complex documents. So if you need to manage contemplation of marriage, receipt by minors, gifting that 10% charity clause, payment of inheritance tax in respect of failed, potentially exempt transfers, whatever it is that you want to do, hodgepodge overseas property, it handles all these areas and much more. So Arken is there for you to achieve more in less time, to help you manage your risk and obtain that all important consistency across your practice, as well as giving that client a great experience with a full client pack. So if you don't come and use Arken and you want a trial or a demonstration, then just visit our website or drop me an email. You'll see my email address at the end, which is pippa@arken.legal. But I'll go back to Sarah now. She's ready to submit the document back to Proclaim. Sarah?
Thanks, Pippa. Now, I've just made some selections based on keeping this demonstration really simple, but you do have the option here to password protect documents and to decide which documents download. You can also see here down at the bottom, I have an activity table, and any activity on this document, such as creating new ones, saving documents, downloading them, will be shown in this activity tab. So I'm going to save what I've done, and you'll see that creates a new line item for the save, and I'm going to hit submit. I'll save that one more time. And now I've done that, I'm going to go back to Proclaim. So here in Proclaim, I am going to retrieve my documents. And this is going to give me a few dialog boxes, and it's going to show me every document that I've created for this particular client within Arken. There's just the one here, and this is the one that we have just created. So I'll select Retrieve All Documents, and Proclaim will let me know that it's now going to download them. For those familiar with Proclaim, you'll recognise the box that is going to come up in a minute. For those that aren't, this is Proclaim letting us know that we've received something for this particular case. And I'm simply going to hit accept. And we'll then be told that the document has successfully been downloaded to the case history. I'm going to close that down and OK this because I've downloaded everything that I need. Now, if I go to the case history page down here at the bottom, this is where everything that has been sent or received, etc., will be shown. And we'll see that the document that I have just downloaded from Arken that I've just created is now here in the case history. And from here, I can then do whatever my next step may be, which is most probably sending out this document to the client for their review. Once I'm happy with any amendments, I'd simply go back to Arken, create it as a final copy, and download the same steps that we've just followed to bring it back into Proclaim.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sarah. That was really, really useful. Now, Now, let me just check to see if there's any questions there. If you can pop that slide up that just gives our contact details if people want any further information. We've just got one question that's come in at the moment, Sarah. So if someone's interested and currently uses Proclaim, what's the process for implementing the integration?
So if they are an existing client, the best step would be to contact your relationship manager. They'll be able to arrange getting the integration set up into Arken. If you're not yet a Proclaim customer, but you would be interested in finding out more, we've got a handy web inquiries form on our website, which will allow one of the team to get in touch with you.
Brilliant, thank you. Likewise, if you are a current Arken client who's interested in finding out more about Proclaim, then please just call the support as you normally would, or email me, pippa@arken.legal, as you can see there, and we can effect that introduction. Equally, if you'd like to know more information on Arken, just please get in touch and we can organise a demonstration. Now we have a handout today that just talks a little bit more about Arken and the integration there, if you would like to download that. Now we've got one more question here, which we'll come back to you directly on, if that's okay, because we're talking about cost there. And yeah, so I think we've got nothing else there. So thank you very much, Sarah, for that excellent demonstration, and thank you all for your time today. So please have a good day, stay safe, and you will get an email with this recording in at the end in case you wanted to go through it again at any point. But for now, we'll just say thank you very much, and I wish you a very good day. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.